It's time for some soul deliciousness. I'll give you a second to hop on. I hope you are having a beautiful day. It's actually pretty cold here in Utah. It snowed last night, so I woke up with that fantastic, beautiful view. But we are definitely in that stage here where everything starts to melt and it gets really gooey and really muddy. So it's kind of yuck and everything looks just dirty. So I'm really counting down the days until we get into spring. Okay, so I want to talk to you about toxic energy. I happen to be watching another person that has a coaching platform, and she made the comment that people are not toxic, and that this is like it's an excuse that we use for not being able to communicate properly or get along with other people. And I'm just going to politely and kindly disagree, and I will tell you why. So, as I run human design charts and as I work with clients, I can see exactly where you have the ability to absorb other people's energy. And that's just exactly how it works. So, if you have an open center or you have a specific spot in your design personality, and you are around a person who has that part of their design as active, so yours is inactive and theirs is active, then you will, hello, welcome. Welcome to the amazingness. I love it. You will actually absorb whatever energy they have. So if their energy is not good, then you're going to absorb it. Obviously, if they have a beautiful, uplifting energy, then you can absorb that too. But toxic energy is completely real. And that's what I mean by, the person that was making this comment. Like, no, it's not about communication, because in your design chart as well, there are specific spots that are flexible with your energy, and there are specific spots that are not flexible with your energy. And so you try as you might, there are certain things you can't change about people. And I actually used to think that everybody was changeable. I thought that you could 100% you could 100% change people. There are things about people that can change, but there are things about people that can't change. But that also leads me to the fact that sometimes you're just not compatible. I was having this conversation with my best friend the other day, and she was saying something about she was talking about like different relationships, and she's been divorced before, and she was saying that like her ex is really great with the person that he's with now, but he wasn't great with her. And it just shows like how we mold and fit together. So you're just not meant to be compatible with some people. What we try to really force that. And here's where the really important thing is: if you are aligned with your true self, your true design, you can tell who you should be around and who you shouldn't be. If you are not truly aligned with your true self, then you get a lot of frustration, you get a lot of anger, you go through life with tons of resistance because you're trying to mesh with people that are not really aligned with who you really are. So, for those of you that have watched me a lot, you know I'm all about removing layers and layers of conditioning. Layers of conditioning are all of those things that have happened to you throughout your life where your parents have told you something, your teachers have told you something, your friends have told you something, and you like to feel good. So you like to be rewarded. So when you follow the rules and you follow the flow of the community, guess what happens? You realize it feels good. So you keep doing it, even if it's completely against your human design. And you don't want to be carrying around other people's negative stuff, but that's what happens because you have open places in your design. And when we don't understand ourselves, then we allow those open spaces to become basically a dumping ground for other people. Okay, here's the other thing. It's not just limited to emotions. Because when you think about it, and I'm talking about toxic energy, you're probably thinking about, ooh, a person that's, you know, um, just in a toxic relationship, someone that's not treating you well or calling you names or whatever that is. But here's where this dives even deeper. Now, I'm going to go out and, blow my clown horn a little bit. So it just so happened that this month it is like everything that I needed to go do. Like I had to get a yearly checkup. I had to go to the dentist. Um, and so all of my doctors that I went to see, of course, are, doing their thing, like getting my teeth checked out and getting my blood drawn, all that stuff. And it was amazing to me because every single place that I went, it was like, we have nothing to tell you. Like everything is great. Like my teeth are fantastic. My blood work is fantastic. My weight is fantastic. I feel fantastic. I feel like I'm glowing because you know why? I've become balanced and I understand who I am and I no longer try to be anything but me for anybody else. And it's not becoming to a level of being arrogant about yourself. It's being at a point where you love yourself enough, you respect yourself enough that you're like, no, I'm sorry, this is not a good energy for me. And you walk away from it and you don't have guilt because you remove the layers of conditioning. And those are the layers that make you stuck in places because you think, oh, you just have to be the better person. You don't have to be the better person. That's you don't have to tolerate other people's behaviors because you need to be a better person. Do you need to be a nice person? Yes. You don't purposefully need to go out and, rip into anybody, but you don't need to allow other people to do things to you. And I give you permission to remove yourself from that. But it's hard, guys. Look at our culture. What happens? What do we do? What do we do? We grow up and then we get married. And what do we do when we get married? We commit ourselves. And so then when it doesn't work and you're going through an issue, you're like, I feel like a failure because my marriage didn't work. When the reality of it is, it's possible that you're not even completely aligned with who you are when you get married, and then you change, or they change, or it wasn't a great match, anyways. And then you're stuck there enjoying your abusive behaviors or whatever it is. And you don't want to leave because what's your mom going to say? I got a little off track there, but going back to, you don't just absorb people's emotions. So when we have an emotion, right? Think of it as a little tiny chemical reaction, might you? Emotions are energy. So you have this emotion, you happen to be really tired because your work called you all night long. No, that's only in my life. Whatever happened and you didn't sleep well. So then you get up in the morning and man, you go to work and people are just making you so irritated while you're driving. And so you're getting this anxiety, you're late too. You spilled your coffee or your tea or your beverage of choice in the morning. Maybe for you, that's Mountain Dew, whatever floats your boat. And you spill. So all this is happening, all these emotions, sometimes they don't flow away like they should. So think about a time when you've had something happen and you just take that deep breath, like you're feeling that emotion really raw and real. And then you take that deep breath and you're able to kind of release it, right? You can feel it. You can feel it go away. You're like, okay, I had a moment. I feel better now. And that is a release of an emotion. But a lot of times we're going. So by the end of the day, you're just exhausted and you have not released things like you should. You just hit the sheets and you're out. And so those little emotions start to build up, and think of them as almost like your body rusting. So they sit around and then they kind of like start coagulating together. And then after time, they wear down your physical body. And so then you develop an illness, you develop a disease, you develop, because you start developing symptoms, right? And what do? We go to a doctor. Doctor uses symptoms to diagnose a disease. And voila, and behold, it really is because of trauma. It really is because of emotions. So when you are around another person that has a toxic energy, especially depending on what personality type you are in your human design, we just call it a type, you have the ability to actually absorb that from other people. So you yourself can actually get sick from being around another person who has those same symptoms. So may I express the importance of be picky with your circles. You're not being mean, you're not being into yourself, you're not whatever. That's a conditioned belief that someone has told you. Pick your circles wisely. Treat yourself with the respect to set boundaries and recognize, quite simply, you deserve happiness. You do. You deserve happiness for yourself. So take a moment, take a deep breath in through your nose. This is the fastest way to center yourself. You're actually engaging not only your energy centers, but your vagus nerve, which flows through your body and connects to everywhere. Breathing cannot be underestimated, friends. So take a deep breath. Just feel yourself. Give yourself some love. All right, there you go. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday. Remember, I'll go live again in about an hour and 20 minutes. And until then, I hope you are having a fantastic Monday.